Hey guys, welcome to your first geometry lesson of the year. Just keep in mind these notes that you're taking a look at here are available on my website, so I always encourage you guys to print these out and fill in the notes with me as we go through. If you can't do that, that's okay. You can still take your own notes. I just know that it goes a whole lot quicker for you if you can just kind of fill in the blanks with me here, instead of having to write all this stuff down and draw pictures and all that good stuff. So first lesson, we are getting into really just some basics as far as what we call undefined terms, like a point, line, and plane. We're just going to identify how you would name them and what some of the symbols are, and what happens when some of these things intersect each other and all that good stuff. So a lot of little details in here as far as kind of what's okay and what's not okay as far as naming and the use of symbols. So pay close attention to the little things here, as these can matter for you. So first things first, if you look at this two-dimensional plane that we have going right here, a plane is like any flat surface, like just a two-dimensional shape like this one is. So as you look at this, understand that wherever you see a dot is actually a point on that plane. So this would be point A, point B, point D, so on. If it does not have a dot, like the L, the M, and the P, then it's there for naming purposes. So you can see that the L, this is a cursive L, goes with that line right there. So that's line L. The M goes with that line, so that would be line M. And the P that's down here in the corner is the name of this whole plane. So we would call this plane P, right, based on that name right there. So as far as how to write some of this appropriately, so if we said name a line that contains point A, so you can see right here, this is the line that contains point A. So a couple ways you can name this. We can do it with letters, we can do it with symbols, we can do it with words, all that good stuff. So we can use the cursive letter that I see right here and call this line L. So that would be one way of doing it. So we could say line L and use that cursive letter that we see. If you wanted to use points that are on the line, all you need is 2 points. So we always use 2 points to name a line. The order doesn't matter. So I could have AB, AC, BC, I could say CB, so any of those would be okay. Let's just write down one example here so that you have it. So you can use words, and you could say line, let's just pick 2 letters, A and B. So we could say line AB, and that would be fine. If you wanted to use a symbol instead of the word, then we draw a double-sided arrow to represent the line. So any of those 3 things would be appropriate for naming a line. So if we're going to do that as well for line M, that's the other line. So they're saying for this one, they've already used this one. They want us to use one of the other options for naming it. So this is a good point to kind of pause the video here real quick and give it a try on your own. So for line M, again, they already used the cursive, so I need to pick 2 points on the line. And there is only 2 points on the line, so we're just going to use B and D. It doesn't matter what order you put them in. Again, I can do it with words, and I can say line BD, or we can use symbols, and I can just do the BD with my double-sided arrow on top. So any of those would be good ways to go. So a lot of options on those, but just got to make sure we stick with the couple rules that we just talked about. 2 names for the plane in the diagram. So as far as naming a plane on these guys, we tend to not use symbols very often for naming planes. We usually use the word plane. You'll notice even in some of the examples down here, they might use symbols for a line, but they're using words to name a plane, right? They just use the word plane. So for this one, you can see we can go by the cursive letter that I see right here. So we can call it plane P. So if you wanted to say plane P, that would be fine. The other way to name a plane is to use 3 letters or 3 points that are not on the same line. So anytime points that are on the same line, like A, B, and C, we call those collinear points because they're on the same line. If they're not on the same line, like A, B, and E, we call them non-collinear points. So, and that's all kind of explained up here as well. So you can kind of look back at that if you need to. So we need, in order to name a plane, I need 3 non-collinear points. So you could say A, B, E. You could say D, C, B. Any 3 letters or any 3 points on this plane that are not in a straight line. So we could say something like plane, let's say A, B, E. And so those would be the two good ways to write a name for that plane, just to identify what it is. All right, jumping down to here, we got to do some drawing on our own here. So if we wanted to draw a line, we know it's a line because of that symbol, AB, and it's in plane Q. So we're going to draw a plane. And you don't have to draw like a parallelogram like I am. It's just kind of the normal, but basically a 2-dimensional surface is all we're looking for. So it can be kind of a rectangle or square. We're going to call it plane Q. So off to the side, I'm going to give it the letter Q. I'm not going to put a dot there because remember, Q is not a point on the plane. It's simply a name that we're seeing right there. So AB is a line. So I'm going to have A, B, and we're going to draw a line through those 2 points. And so remember, if it's a point on the plane, you do need to put the dot. And so that would fit the description that they're talking about. There's a couple ways we could have drawn this differently, but that's just one example. So ST intersects line AB at point P. So whenever you see a single letter like this, if it doesn't have a word in front of it or a symbol, then it's automatically a point. It would be nice if they said point P, like they did right here. But if they don't put anything else there and there's no symbol and it's only one letter, we know it's a point. So ST intersects AB. So here's ST. So here's my line for ST. Gotta make sure we label all that stuff. And it's going to intersect or cross over line AB. So I'm going to draw line AB. And it says that they intersect at point P. So this point of intersection right here where the 2 lines meet, they want us to call point P. So we're going to label that just like that. So that would fit. So one of the things that does come up early on here is we talk about what happens when 2 objects intersect each other. So if it's 2 lines that intersect, we should know that they always intersect at a point. All right, so anytime 2 lines intersect, they intersect at a point. Another drawing, point X is collinear, so it's on the same line with points A and P. So if I were to draw that one, so X, A, and P are collinear. So I need to draw one line that goes through all 3 points and label them X, A, P. So that would fit that description. And then last one here, line L contains points X and Y. So remember, if it's in cursive, it is just a name, right? It's not a point. So I'm going to put it next to the line. So there's my cursive L, and line L contains points X and Y. So I need to put point X and point Y on that line. So it would look something like that. Let me give you the second and final page. Again, always good with the video if you ever want to pause it and do something ahead on your own and then play the video to check it and see if we did the same thing. That would be good. So one other thing to mention here, so I mentioned on the last page, is anytime that 2 lines intersect, they always intersect at a point. So you can see right here that when these 2 lines intersected, they intersected at a point. Well, what happens when 2 planes intersect? So you can see there are 3 planes right here that are intersecting. And where 3 planes or 2 planes intersect, they always intersect at a line. So 2 planes, at least 2 planes, when they intersect, they always intersect at a line. right? Not just a single point. It's now a bunch of points that are all on that line. Okay, so that's their line of intersection. If you have a line intersecting with a plane, you can see right here, it's like shooting an arrow through this piece of paper, right? So here's like one end of the arrow, it hits the paper right here, and then it comes out the other side where it's dotted, right? So anytime a line intersects a plane, what does it form? Right, just a single point anytime a line intersects a plane. So anyway, so now when it says name the intersection of plane N and line AE, so like we just mentioned, anytime a line intersects a plane, they always intersect at a single point. So you can see right here at point B, and again, we're just going to use the word, no point symbol, just use the word for point B. Anytime two lines intersect, like we've already talked about, two lines intersect at a single point. So BC, which is this one right here, and DC, which is this one right here, you can see they intersect right here at point C. So they intersect at point C. Does DC intersect AE? So if you look right here, so here's AE, here's DC. Do those guys ever meet? Where they ever intersect each other, right? And you can see right here that they are not on the same plane, right? We have this guy going this way, we have this guy going this way, right? They're not running the same direction, they're running different directions, and you can see one is off to the right, this guy's kind of more off to the left, and so these guys are what we call skew. Skew lines never intersect, and so if you look at that, we would just have to say no. As far as an explanation, we could call them skew lines. They'll never intersect. All right, last couple down here, and you can practice these on your own if you want. If you want to pause the video, name one line segment that intersects at point A. So here's point A, right? And there are a few different lines that intersect at point A. So let's see. So if you look at these guys, we have GA. So that's a line that would go through point A. I have AB, or BA, same thing, would intersect at point A. I have AD, goes through point A. So any of those would work. It just says name one line segment. Why do they call it a segment? It's just instead of a line, right? Obviously, there's no arrows on the end of these, right? It's part of a line. Right, but there's no arrows, which means it doesn't go on forever, right? It's just a segment, right? It's like a part of a line. So let's just say GA for that one. So we're going to say GA, and if it's a segment, then we don't put the arrows on it, right? It's just a straight line, right? So we only put arrows if they put arrows. So if it's a line, we use the arrows. If it's a segment, then no arrows. Name the line of intersection. So remember we talked about up above, anytime two planes intersect, they intersect at a line. So they want us to name the line of intersection between GAB. So let's see, here's GAB. So you can see that's kind of like the top of the box. I'm going to see if I can kind of shade that for you. So there's the top plane, GAB. Intersects FEH, which is down here at the bottom. Here's FEH. So this is kind of like maybe the front of the box, you might call it. Depends on how your 3D vision is working, I guess. Right. So what line segment or line of intersection contains this plane and this plane? So you can see right here at GH is the line that hits both of those planes. So we're going to call it line GH. Or you could say HG, same thing, right? So anyway, that's it for lesson 1. You're going to see an assignment on the calendar that goes with it. Hope it goes well. Bring me some questions later, and good luck on the rest of the day.